Everyone, my name is Doosat. You're all welcome to my channel. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also like and share my videos. So today I'll be teaching you how to make stew. Now that tomato is very expensive, I made this stew with just 900 naira ingredient aside the turkey. Please make sure you watch every single part of this video so that you will not miss out on anything, because I shared a lot of tips in this video. So please just make sure you watch everything without skipping any parts. This stew is actually very delicious, and if you try this out, please send your pictures to me. Thank you. So I'm at the market to buy 200 naira dry tomato. 200 naira won't be that.
This one 500. This one 200.
Okay, 200. Tadashi, give me 200 naira, Tadashi. 200. You don't get dogo. I share 200.
On the dozen you go. On the dozen you go.
That's 200 naira won't be that.
200.
Then small, you get dogo.
Dogo 50.
Dogo 200. So this is the dried tomato. This is the tatashi. Bring and come like that. No tayam. Like I see. I don't go small like this. This one chili pepper be this now. No, I don't go I want. I want beetroot. Oh. One how much? Yeah. This small beetroot like 200, not be 100 naira. I mean a big one you go give me.
How much you need?
Give me 200 naira. Give me the one with big. Okay, you give me that for 200, bro. Thank you. Customer, this your pepper, you get 200 naira.
Yes.
Give me 200 naira. Fine.
God bless
200 naira.
See now, it goes down. This one now, they come on my head for grand.
At 200 be that. 100 naira. Ah, plenty. Being a customer, be. Give me onions 300, yes. Where are the onions? They that side. So this is the 300 naira onions. So much. You get dogo.
Dogo.
What will be dogo? Pepper now. Dogo. Shambo. A shambo na the color.
You have shambo, you have it.
No, shambo now I want buy.
This one now, as I say, dogo na pepper.
Okay, shambo now I want. Dry one. Very small. 200 naira only. Small.
But shambo 200
Make us see him. Shambo 200. Okay. I want to see him. Oh, shambo different from dogo. So these are the ingredients we got from the market. This is the 200 naira shambo. This is the 200 naira dried tomatoes. This is the 200 naira dried tatashi. This is the 200 naira fresh pepper, 300 naira onion. So I'm going to use just 2 of these. So let's just assume this onion is 100 naira. So I'm using all of the tatashi, all of the shambo, all of the dried tomatoes, the beetroot 200 naira. So I'm using just 1 of the beetroots. And then I'm going to use just half of the pepper. You know, I like my food very spicy. So you can just use what you can take. I'm using half of the pepper. Okay, So we're going to pour water, hot water, in the shombo. We'll pour in the dry tomato also, and we pour in the dry tatase also. Remember, they are all dried, the shombo, the tatashe, and the tomato. We're gonna pour hot water in them and leave them to rest for about 15 minutes. So while tomatoes, shombo, and tatashe are hydrating, we're going to turn our well-washed turkey in a pot, add onions to it. We're going to add, remember I don't cook with seasoning cubes, so we are going to add 1 teaspoon of the Doosat jollof rice and stew spices, 1 teaspoon of our green seasoning powder, and 1 teaspoon of curry. And then we're going to use 1 teaspoon of salt. We'll also be adding shallots. Look at shallots. We'll also be adding it. And then go ahead and add water. You know, turkey doesn't really release much water. So go ahead and add water and then mix. So go ahead and place it on the burner and cover and allow our turkey to cook for 15 minutes. After 10 minutes, I checked the turkey to see, and the water was almost dried, so I had to add more water. Cover and allow it to cook for the remaining 5 minutes or till our turkey is done. So tomatoes, dry tatashe, and dry shombo, they are done hydrating. So I'll be washing them now. Please, the tomatoes usually has more sand under. This is a tomato. Please do not drain like this over the basket when you want to wash. Please use your hands to pack this out because it usually has a lot of sand under. So for all of them, you'll be doing the same thing. You'll be using your hand to pack this out. So when you're done packing it out, you're going to wash. I'll be washing the tomatoes off the camera. So you wash as many times as you can. I usually wash 3 to 4 times, depending on when I stop seeing sand. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Can you see this sand? This is from the tomato. This is also just from the first wash. So even the second, third, and fourth process, I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be packing it up. I will not turn the water out. So I am done washing the tomatoes. The next I'm going to wash is the tatashe. I grew up removing the seed out of the tatashe. This is how my mom taught me to remove the seed out of the tatashe. So a lot of people don't do that, but I do it. So I'm going to remove the seed of the tatashe and put in the basket. These two, I am not going to drain the water out. I am going to remove everything from here. The tatashe doesn't usually come with a lot of sand. It's just the tomato that usually comes with so much sand. So I am done washing the tatashe. So I am washing the shombo next. So this is the shombo. I'll be removing the stem of the pepper, the shombo. This is it. I'll be pouring it away. So I'm going to pack it up. I'm not going to drain the water away. I'm going to pack this out. I'm not removing the seed from the shombo. Just the tatashe that I removed the seed. So I'll be washing this for 3 times. So this is the beetroot. So I'll go ahead and peel the beetroot. So this is it. I'll be peeling it like so. See? So see all what we got for just 900 naira. Onions, this is 100 naira. Shombo, dry shombo, 100 naira. Beetroot, 100 naira. Dry tomato, 200. Dry tatashe, 200. Dry pepper, 100 naira. Total, this is just 900 naira. I'm going to add 3 Cameroon pepper. I love the flavor of the Cameroon pepper. So the beetroot is just basically to make the stew very reddish instead of adding the processed sachet tomatoes or tin tomatoes. So you already know the tomato is dried, so it doesn't have that red color like that. So the beetroot is going to substitute it. And also, when you're using the dried ingredients to make your stew, please make sure your pepper, this particular one, is red. Like, just always make sure it's red. Also, if you have the money, you can actually go for fresh tatashe and fresh shombo. But 200 naira shombo, fresh one, will not give you this quantity. 200 naira fresh tatashe will not give you this quantity. So I'd rather go for the dried ones and then use fresh pepper and much onions. Always use much onions. This is too big, as in 2 large onions I'm using here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to be blending this together. So before I blend it, I'm going to add a little water in it because these are dried ingredients. So I'm going to add just a little water in it. So I'll be starting with our pulse control. So just look at this goodness. See how red it is. This is very red. So I'll be pouring the first batch. This is just the first batch. I have like 2 more batches to go. See the amount of tomato we got. I wanted to use this pot to make this stew, but the tomatoes already filled the pot, so I can't even use the pot. This is going to make like stew for me for like 2 weeks. So this is it. This is what 900 naira. Imagine you have a contract to cook jollof rice for party and you're just like, how can I do this? How can I do this? Tomato is so expensive. This is what you should do. This thing filled this pot. This pot is like, this is a 2-liter pot. This is a 2-liter pot and it filled it. Like what I got from 900 naira actually filled this pot. It will take you over a custard of fresh tomato to get this. Over a custard of fresh tomato to get this. So I'll then go ahead to fry my stew. I'll be placing the pan on the fire, allow it to dry, and then I'll go ahead to add my vegetable oil. Allow it to get hot a little. Once my oil is hot, I'm going to add just 4 bay leaves inside. I'll go ahead and add some shallots. I love shallots very well. I'll then go ahead to add my tomatoes. Woo. Woo. This stew is so much. I actually didn't plan for this amount of stew. I didn't know the tomato was actually going to be this much. I was looking at something I can eat for just 1 week, but then this is too much. So I'm going to cover it because this is going to splash so much. So I'm going to cover it. So this is the stew. It's going to splash. So I'll be covering it and allow it. I'll be covering it and then I'll allow it to fry until I am satisfied. So our stew has been frying for 15 minutes. Occasionally I used to come and stir it. I'll open the cover and stir it. And this is what it looks like. Look at this. as you can see, you can't see any oil in it again, but there is oil inside. At this point, some people may want to add more oil, but then I really don't use so much oil to fry my stew. I try to cut down on oil a bit, so I'm not going to add any more oil on this. So for 15 minutes it has been frying and it is ready now. So I'm going to add the green seasoning powder, the jollof rice and stew spice, curry, and salt. 1 teaspoon of salt, sorry. So altogether I've used 2 teaspoons of salt. Please, it's not a spoon used in drinking tea, it's measuring spoon, it's usually smaller. And 2 teaspoons of salt for a big pot of stew like this is not that bad. If I was to use seasoning cube in making this stew, I would have not used less than 6 cubes, and 6 cubes is far more than even 4 tablespoons of salt, which I'll still even go ahead and add salt to taste again. So I'm going to mix this for like 1 minute and then go ahead and add our meat, our turkey inside. I am not frying my turkey, so I'll be adding it at this point since I am not frying it. So I'll add my turkey and I'll stir. So after stirring it, I'll go ahead and cover the pot. I'll then leave it to cook for 15 more minutes. Please also ensure to use a copper pan, like a non-stick pan, when you're making such stew, because it's usually very thick. So when it is ready, you will see oil will settle at the top. So after 15 minutes, I'll be coming to check my stew. As you can see, the oil has settled up. So this is my stew. It's ready. If you want more oil, at this point you can still go ahead and add more oil and cover and leave it to cook for 5 or 2 more minutes. But then this is very, very okay for me. I am not a fan of too much vegetable oil. So my stew is ready. As you can see, this is it. This is it. So for those who want to use seasoning cubes, you can use it. If you want to use such as spices, you can do that. But then I don't. You already know those stuffs really make stew very extremely tasty. This is also very tasty. In fact, the aroma in this kitchen is everything. But then I rather choose to live healthy, to stay healthy, to eat healthy, even though this is not so much healthy because it has more vegetables than I expected, vegetable oil than I expected. I usually use very small, so to me this vegetable oil is even so much. So this is our stew.